Marsupials, animals with pouches on their bellies, usually have them facing upwards, but not wombats. These toothy critters like digging too much, which is why their pouches are turned down to their hind paws. This way they can dig without harming their babies. By the way, all marsupial cubs are called joeys. That includes kangaroos, koalas, and of course, wombats too. Spiders have a tiny brain, but their web is a powerful tool. They use it to see, hear, and feel everything around. Crazier still, the web also serves as a kind of a memory bank. Instead of remembering where they stashed the prey, spiders leave it to the web. Kangaroo rats can survive for years without water at all. They get all the moisture they need from seeds they eat, and living in an arid desert doesn't cause them any trouble. Plumed basilisk lizards can run on water. Their hind feet have long toes with fringes of skin spreading out in water. As a result, a bigger surface of the lizard's foot comes into contact with the water, and then the lizard has only to pump its legs real fast. When a cardinal fish guzzles too much special zooplankton, the tiny creature starts to glow inside the fish's body. It becomes more visible to predators and spits the plankton out, which looks as if it breathes out bursts of bluish fire. There's a particular jellyfish species in the world's oceans which can live forever. When the creature reaches the end of its life, it transforms back into its polyp state and restarts its life cycle over and over again. Tarsiers have the biggest eye-to-body size ratio. Their eyes take up almost the whole head. In return, these huge eyeballs allow the animal to see at night as clearly as during the day. Gecko lizards are equipped with tiny hairs on their foot pads. These things let them climb any surface and run on it as if on the ground, even if it's your ceiling. The pistol shrimp gets its name from its weird claw. It's normally open, but when it snaps shut, it creates a bubble projectile that stuns its prey. The snap is so powerful, it creates a flash of light and momentarily heats up the water to the temperature of the sun's surface. A possum is any snake's natural nemesis. These creatures are immune to snake venom and like to munch on serpents a lot. Not to be confused with possums, though. When hippos get too hot, they ooze a pinkish liquid through their skin. It soon covers their bodies and protects them from sunburns. Meerkats, also seeing lots of sunny days, have black rings around their eyes that look like they're wearing sunglasses. And, well, it's exactly what those rings do. The black fur blocks out sunlight, allowing meerkats to look straight at the sky. Parrots, with their ability to mimic human speech, pale in comparison with lyrebirds. These copycats can learn and produce over 20 different sounds, including chainsaws, dog barks, car engines, and fire alarms, and of course, other bird songs too. The alpine ibex is the absolute climbing champion of the animal world. Mother goats with their kids seem to be defying gravity by scaling flat vertical cliff walls where no other creature can walk. Male goats, on the other hand, prefer flatlands themselves. Lizards are known to regrow their tails, and sometimes even other limbs, but the axolotl beat them all. These strange critters can regenerate even such complex organs as their heart or brain. Salmon, this graceful water racer, has a built-in navigation system. Its body reacts to the magnetic field of the Earth and helps the fish find its way across thousands of miles. When threatened, bombardier beetles pop open the tip of their behind and spray the attacker with nauseous liquid. The chemical reaction inside the beetle's body makes this spray as hot as boiling water. Fleas may be small, but they're the best jumpers in all creation. If humans could jump like these tiny pests, we'd be able to hop over the top of the Eiffel Tower. Millipedes are scary enough by themselves, but some of their defense mechanisms are something else. For example, they might exude cyanide, burning in response to threat, and others can glow in the dark. Octopuses have 3 hearts, 2 of which pump blood to the gills, and the third one rolls it to the other organs. Their blood is blue, by the way, and they also have as many as 9 brains. 1 is central, and the other 8 are, you guessed it, controlling their limbs. Horses have frogs in their feet. No, not live ones. A horse's frog is a triangular organ that absorbs shock from stepping on the foot and helps pump blood from their feet up. On the topic of horses' feet, their hooves are made of the same stuff your nails and hair are, keratin. So, basically, horses run on their nails. The starfish doesn't have either brain or heart, and neither does it have lungs. Yet it has hundreds of tiny feet, allowing it to walk, and it also pumps water with them through the star's body. The water acts like blood for this creature. Giraffes are the shortest sleepers in the world. They only need 2 hours of quality sleep a day. And even that, they don't get at once, instead falling into short 5-minute bouts of sleep. Cicadas have no natural enemies, but not because they're on top of the food chain. They go into slumber for as long as 13 to 17 years, and no animal can rely on them as a food source. Tiger stripes are just as unique as human fingerprints, and it's not only their fur that's striped, their skin is too. Speaking of fingerprints, if a koala leaves its prints on something, they might be confused with a person's. They're that much alike. There's no animal that can blush except humans. Scientists believe this phenomenon is purely social, so that we could communicate with other people without words. There are also no animals in the world that have chins except humans. This, however, still remains unexplained. Actually, it's so we can do chin-ups. Maybe. Pygmy marmoset is the smallest monkey on the planet. It's so tiny it could hug your thumb like a tree trunk. Sloths, with their unhurried way of life, can take a whole month to digest a single meal they've eaten. Cows have 4 stomachs. Well, not exactly. They have 1 stomach with 4 chambers. They need so many to process grass, something humans and predators can't do. Owls can't move their eyes in their sockets. That's why they have to turn their entire head to look around, and it rotates to almost 360 degrees. Mantis shrimp is one of the most colorful creatures in the world. They look rainbow-colored to us, but to those of their own species, they look like a whole burst of colors. Their eyes can detect billions more shades than ours. Snails might seem harmless and placid, but they have up to 15,000 teeth. Inside a snail's mouth, there are more tiny chompers than in a shark's one. Despite feeling smells much better than us humans, cats and dogs have a rather weak sense of taste. Dogs have about 5 times fewer taste buds than we do, and cats have just a few hundred compared to our 9,000. Orcas are some of the most intelligent creatures on the planet. They hear each other's calls over dozens of miles and have unique calls for every single one of their pack. These calls are similar to human names in function. A call of a blue whale can be heard over hundreds of miles, and if you're too close to a whale when it sounds a call, you might lose your hearing. It's louder than a jet engine. Reindeers change their eye color depending on the season. In summer, they're gold, and in winter, they're blue. Also, while reindeers' antlers are still growing, they're very sensitive, but when they're fully grown, they lost the outer skin layer and become hard like bone. Otters hold each other's paws while sleeping on the water, because otherwise they might be separated by the currents. A hummingbird is a creature with the fastest metabolism on the planet. Its heart beats at the speed of over 1,200 beats per minute. That's more than 20 beats per second. And if you were a hummingbird, you'd have to eat about 50 to 60 pounds of food per day. An elephant's trunk is similar in structure to a human's tongue. It has lots of muscles interwoven with each other. That's why it's so flexible. Butterflies feel smells with the antenna on their heads, and females taste flowers with their feet before harvesting them. Bumblebees are so large compared to their wings, they shouldn't be able to fly at all. Still, their little wings move not up and down, but back and front, creating tiny hurricanes around the bumblebee and allowing it to kinda surf the air current. Now we know why they're so busy.